Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview. Leeds United versus Everton at Elland Road, somewhere that we haven't been for a while, and not somewhere we've travelled well to in years gone by.
Great memories.
But yeah, I mean, I've got the
Rooney memory.
The winning goal, but it's going to be a tough game. We're not, following on from the Newcastle performance. This is not going to be an easy game. It might be easier because we're playing away, and we seem to be doing. This would be our fourth. Would it be fourth away game in a row if we won it?
If they won it, yeah.
Which,
huge if.
That's normally we don't get 4 in a season.
No.
So that's a bonus.
It is. We've won 1 of the last 37 games at Elland Road. So make it that what you will.
Didn't have to throw it out at me so early.
But there won't be any fans in there, which will make a big difference. But I did watch Leeds against Leicester at the weekend, and they do run around really fast. Which means that...
They run around?
They run around, which they're already 1 up on us, and they run around really fast, which makes it 2 up. Nah, listen, they've done really well this season. And they caused us problems at Goodison, beat us at Goodison, so... If they beat us, it'll be the first time they've done a double over us since they were first promoted. It'll be in the season which they've come up. So, we're going to have to be at our best. And we're going to have to play the low block.
We are low blocking it, aren't we?
We've got it. There's no other way to play it.
Yeah.
Sadly. There's no other way to play it because at the moment, we haven't got Alan, but we're just not playing well either. So, that's the issue. The issue is we're going to have to sit on the edge of our box, try not to give them any room to break on us, and try to counter-attack them like we, like where we played at Leicester and how we did at Wolves. Let them have more of the ball than us, and hopefully hit them on the break. But everyone's going to have to play really well because they were all shocking at the weekend.
Yeah, obviously Leeds have won their last 2 games as well, and they're, there's a lot of this in the Premier League. Teams seem to go in waves, don't they? And they're obviously just hitting a good spell now. And yeah, we do have an issue with certainly teams putting pressure on us, teams playing high up the press. Because we pass so slow. That's the problem. We don't go through the gears where, and that's our biggest problem. We've seen that the weekend. We've seen that in a lot of games. We've seen that, as you said, when Leeds played us, like Southampton away, when teams are up against us. And Leeds are a very fit team. Bielsa's obviously that's the trademark. That was the thing. Certainly when I watched that Leeds documentary, what caused them to get so many injuries, and I know it's been thrown at them that they got up last season because they had that little break. But I mean, we'll never know whether that's true or not, but they've added to it this season and they've brought other players in, and no, they might be without some of their better players for this game, but it is a very tough game, and especially when Everton come off the back of Leicester, Newcastle playing this game, then we've got Manchester United, then we've got Spurs. And you're asking them from the same players. We keep on reiterating this. The squad it's just so thin, and you're asking the same players, certainly in the attacking areas of the pitch, to go out and put performances every game to the level that we need it to be to beat teams like this who just seem to have so much energy that we don't.
I think the thing in the home game, when Leeds beat us, we did have chances. We had a lot of chances. They did as well. Don't get me wrong. They should have scored a few goals themselves, but we did have chances because they do leave the door open. Seeing the game against Leicester at the weekend, the chances Leicester missed was incredible, but then they are a threat on the break. I mean, the 3rd goal, they just fly forward. And obviously Everton got done like that with the 2nd goal of the weekend, so that's something we've got to be wary of. That's why Godfrey's got to play. No question about it. So we will have to be wary of it, but we can cause them issues off set plays, there's no question about it. I don't know whether Everton might be better suited by putting, maybe going 4-4-2 or something, and having, because I think if you went with a low block with 4-4-2, again, the midfield would probably be a little bit overrun, but You've got to have someone helping Dom out. There's no... We don't, like you just said, we don't move the ball quickly enough through the areas of the pitch to really drag them out of position. So we might have to go from back to front, go long to Dom. But to do that, you've got to have someone round them. You can't jump and pull it down and hold it for everyone to get there. So we might have to go a little bit more direct in this to try to miss the midfield out a little bit and get into their back line. The mobility is an issue in our midfield.
Yeah,
there's
definitely.
the core, we've got it.
Yeah.
But it's other areas. James will play, so he's not exactly the most mobile. I imagine Everton will just play what they normally play, which is 4-3-3. And if that's the case, we're going to have Godfrey, like I said, in at right back, and then have obviously the two centre-backs we've got, and then Luca D might provide a little bit of width for us. Leeds, Rodrigo looks like he's out, he's done his groin, they've got late tests on Bamford and Rafinha. If they don't make it, then that'll be a huge boost for Everton. Because Bamford's been great for him. He's got a cracking goal the other day. And Rafinha got the winner against us. Lovely left foot on him. He's a real threat as well. But from our perspective, we're going to have to be solid. We're going to have to work. I imagine Tom Davies will come back into the team alongside the core. And maybe it might be wise to put... I'm never going to do it, but, to throw someone else who's mobile in there. But if not, if it's Davis and Decore, maybe it'd be wise to put Gomez in there. Or say to Sigurdsson, try and join in, then if it's going to be him. I still feel like either of them don't give us the legs we need.
No.
Especially against a team like this. That's why I would put Holgate in either midfield or right back, and the other one, whether it's Godfrey, whether he's there, just to help out with their mobility. Because then it might allow us to play a little bit higher up the pitch and cause them problems. Because otherwise we're going to be just chasing our tails and hoping that we get the first goal, and then it gives us something to cling on to. It's a game we can win, don't get me wrong. It's not, they're not Manchester City in the pomp or whatever, but they are a good side and they're a very, very energetic side.
Yeah, I mean, it's about going back to what the fundamentals. We've only lost 3 games. We've lost 2 since we last played Leeds. Haven't we, in the Premier League?
Yeah, both at home.
That's a way to look at it. So it's not like we're shipping goals. It's not like we're losing loads of games. We've lost 2 games, since then, in the months of December and January. Obviously both came in January. I think what happened on Saturday was, obviously, we mentioned this when we did the final word, too much respect paid. But someone like Leeds, not enough respect paid. Someone like Leeds, you've got to pay them the respect of, how hard working they are. They're going to create chances. They're going to give you opportunities. But for me, the way we've looked at it away from home, Leicester and Wolves, Sheffield United, be tight at the back, which means you've got to have that 4 in. Maybe Dean plays, I don't know, but defensively he still looks miles away from me. I know he's back and he's fit and stuff, but he still looks like he leaves the door open, but without providing enough going the other way. I think you've got to get that balance.
So what would you do with Dean?
I'd probably leave him on the bench.
Would you?
Or maybe for a game like this, I think where you want to be solid, maybe manager might feel starting him, and maybe Ben Godfrey on the other side and starting someone in like Tom might give us enough. Maybe you can't take Luca Dean out the team, but there's got to be just little changes that he's got to be prepared to make.
Does he go back to what he did against Leicester and Wolves with Dean on the left side?
Yeah, possibly so. And then you might say, well, I'll put Richarlison on the other side and leave Iwobi out. Then at least you've got someone coming off the bench. Because I think that's always got to be in the forefront of. Don't put all your eggs in one basket as well. Don't always put all the players on the pitch at once. Leave some on the bench for that. And I know people look at being on the bench as well, you're not good enough, but it's not sometimes. Sometimes it's no, I'll get 25 minutes out of you from the most important part of the game. I think that's where we don't always look after our players. It's not, it's not always the worst thing having a good player coming off the bench. If you do have a couple of options, and maybe Dean playing left midfield, and maybe Richarlison playing right midfield, or the right side, could help us. I just think that they're really the only options we've got, and we've got to look after not conceding first and then build on that. And that's what we've done at Wolves. That's what we did. You know, when we played Leicester away as well. Who were seen as good sides or teams that we certainly feared a little bit when we going into those matches. So let's not forget that we can be a good team in our day, especially when we're not conceding goals, and then build on that. And hopefully, you know that will get us through. You hope.
It's got a battle, haven't we, and scrap for everything. You know, and if we do that and we keep it tight, we can win the game. They're not. Only got 3 at the weekend. They don't score loads and loads of goals, Leeds, but they have the opportunity to because they do fly forward. Yeah. And like you say, we've got to stay in the game.
But what we've got to be doing is, though, we've got to be better on the counter-attack. We've got to be better on the counter-attack.
They got their 3rd goal at the weekend was brilliant.
No, I don't expect us to move the ball as fast as they do. But with someone like James Rodriguez, though, he can move the ball. He doesn't move, but he moves the ball. And if you've got will and runners, if you have got Richarlison or whatever, you've got to have those will and runners to push on. And I think that's where we've got to start being better. We've got to start being so much better when we counter-attack because we just look really limp.
Yeah, we're lethargic, aren't we? Even when we break, and we look like we might get it. By the time we've got the ball under control, it's just the chance goes. It's like you look at, like I said, I watched Leeds at the weekend, and the Bamford's goal to want to put them 2-1 up. The ball sharp Rafinha first time, and it's out of his feet and in before Leicester have even had a chance to set. And then the 3rd goal, they break on them, and they're running with their head. They're like, it's ridiculous though. It's like that was like 90th minute or something. They're running like it's a bloody 100-metre sprint. Where Everton, we break out and it's like, we'll switch it. Is anyone here? There's no
knowing
direction.
what you're doing that though, and having the fitness to back it up.
No, it is. It is.
Knowing what you're doing, we don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we are. We don't at the moment. There's no style as such. There's getting into the good plays and see what happens. Which is a weird.
And that's fine. Leeds are built a certain way. That's fine. I'm not suggesting Everton should be built the same way because there's lots of different styles in the Premier League. It's just that our players, we haven't got fast enough players.
No.
And that's the problem.
We haven't got athletic
in
enough
the
players.
squad, and it's at the athleticism.
That's it.
The front 2 are quite athletic, but even Dom doesn't get knocked the ball and get his head down and go on a foot race where he's quicker than most defenders. Everything's like stop and wait. You know what? I don't know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because there's been times this season when you've seen how good Everton can be, and you look and go, we actually look like a real threat here. But it almost seems like we get knocked out of our stride very quickly, whereas people stop doing the stuff. Whereas a team like Leeds, what you've got to respect with like what Bielsa's done and what their players have done is they still keep the values all the time. They might lose. You know, they've lost lots of games this season, lost 9 games this season, but they're still having a right good go in every game. Everton can lose games. It happens in football, especially now. Everyone's beating everyone. But I still get...
The games we lose, Baz, we lose with a whimper.
It's like there's nothing, though. It's almost like we just don't give everything for it. And that's what annoys me more than anything.
We lose games with a whimper. All the home games, maybe bar... Well, even Man United, even after a good first 20 minutes, we just died to death in the game and never showed anything. And I said the 3 games that the Leeds, West Ham, and the Newcastle game. The minute we conceded the goal, I knew the game was over, and that just shows what we've got. We don't really have the kind of players who can lift themselves after once something bad happens. So that's why scoring the first goal is hugely important for us. It's hugely important for us that we get that first, because I just think that when we go, certainly when we go behind late on in games, there just doesn't seem to be, we just don't seem to have, and that comes from the bench as well. If you look at the bench and you've got nothing that can change the game, we're only one of 2 teams that are substituted failed to score this season. Yeah. That's shocking. That's shocking. Your bench is a huge part of your tactical situation. Having someone who can come off the bench who can change the game. How many times have we looked and gone, oh God, this fellow come on, he could change the game. Yeah. Whether it's coming back from injury or he's been left there on purpose, or it's we've got to be very careful in the next few games because they're very, very tough, and we've got to be careful that we don't just start sliding away from where we want to be. And I know, as I said before, the season will come in waves, and we'll have good runs and bad runs. But we can't fall into a pattern.
No.
That's the thing. We can't fall into a pattern where people simply don't believe. And yeah, this is an important game. It's important to have a really good performance and response, because the manager has come out and he said certain things after the Newcastle game which should hurt players more than anything, which are words like lazy, not trying. These attitude. These are words that should hear players more than anything else.
Yeah.
Because if someone questions you that you're not working or you haven't got the attitude, the first thing he said about Newcastle was, they had the attitude, we didn't. That to me is like that ringing the bell there, mate.
The lazy shout, especially.
Yeah.
Lazy is a strong word in football. He's right to do it, because we didn't have the attitude. We had players, you see this sometimes with Everton, is that it looks like the players don't respect the other team, like they expect it to be easy. Be easy today. And I think that was what we were guilty of when we played Leeds at home last time. I think we thought, we've been promoted, we'll beat them, we're too good for them. It was certainly the case when West Ham beat us, 100%. Yeah. We turned up on that Good Friday, on that New Year's Day, easy this, 3 points here, and then we'll get back into the top. And they beat us, and Saturday was the same. And one thing, they won't be complacent going here now, not after last time, not the results Leeds have had. No. You can't be complacent.
Put it legged all over the gaff.
So, Leeds looking to complete their first double over us since 1991. Over the 45 sides Everton have faced at least 10 times away from home in top flight history. The lowest win rate on the road is against Leeds. We've won just 6% of our games there. Leeds have won all the midweek games. Everton have lost 3 of the 4 Premier League games this season when they've had 60% or more possession.
Stop having possession.
The only one we won was West Brom in September.
Let the opposition have more possession.
Patrick Bamford has been directly involved, 15 goals in his last 20 games for Leeds, scored 11 and got 4 assists. Only Tony Yeboah had a hand in more goals.
Amazing.
In his first 20 games. So
amazing.
There you go.
There you go.
Fills you with loads of hope.
Oh, I'm filled with bags of confidence. Bags of confidence going to this game. But Everton surprised us before, and hopefully they'll surprise us again. Let's hope. Because you know what? We've got 2 games in hand, and if we won them, I know they're both tough, but if we won them, we'd be in the top 4.
Yeah,
so
which is mad.
That just shows how it's, how mad a season it is, even when we're all feeling a little bit down. So there you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on this one. What are you expecting from the game? Do you hope we go back to the low block, 4 centre backs, or what do you think we should be having a good right goal at Leeds? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already. If you want more great videos, join us over on Patreon, where we do live daily shows. The link is just down there. Thanks for watching. See you later.